Andy Callum.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. That this House believes it should be the Scottish people to determine the future constitutional status of Scotland and accordingly make provision as set out in this order. It's hard to believe that we even have to make that request. It's galling to think that my nation is expected to ask permission from another country to have control over its own constitutional status. And it's frustrating too when I witness the damage being done to individuals, families and communities in Scotland by the austerity policies of this current Conservative and Unionist UK Government. The SNP Scottish Government has mitigated the damage to the tune of billions of pounds, and that could all have been spent elsewhere if this place had truly, as it claims, been compassionate when legislating. But it isn't, and time again, the Scottish Government takes the strain. Of course, as has been pointed out already this afternoon, there's a range of topics that we could have debated here today. The damage enforced on Scotland by Brexit, the austerity policies enforced in Scotland by this government, the dreadful immigration policies which they continue to ramp up, the decisions of the 21st century that our constituents have to decide whether to eat or eat, and so on. And we know the outcomes of each and every one of those is determined by the actions taken by the Conservative and Unionist UK Government here at Westminster. There is no point in us continually addressing the symptoms when the cause is staring us in the face.
Hear, hear.
We would love to debate all of those issues in a Holyrood with the powers to address them. Westminster will deny us this request. We know that, and that's indicative of their fear. Why do the SNP keep asking? They know we won't allow it. They just don't get it. And that's partially because of some MPs that represent Scottish seats, and they will back up the UK Government when they pronounce their intention to rule over Scotland. That servile attitude only empowers Westminster. I noticed yesterday that the front page of the Scottish edition of the Times newspaper had a quarter-page story with a heading, "Scots back leaving UK for fourth poll in a row." But the edition I saw in the tea room had a different story in that space. Ironically, it was last-minute talks to halt nurse strikes break down. Yep. It's not a story they could have run in Scotland, as the SNP government have successfully come to an agreement on that issue in Scotland. But the lack of the Independence poll result reminded me how little engagement members here have with Scotland and Scottish issues, as can be seen today by the empty spaces on their benches. Unless we bring it to the table, it's not on the menu. So rather than retreating to their bunker and repeating the line, "You had your referendum and it was once in a generation," this UK government would do well to engage with the devolved powers in an equal and respectful manner. Share the platform with us. Respect our right to ask the people of Scotland. The pressure is building up behind their dam of denial, and when the dam bursts, they don't want to be standing under it. It will wash them away, and they will be replaced with an independent Scottish Government working for all of the people in a free, sovereign nation. And finally, Mr Deputy Speaker, the UK Government's choice is not what is the direction of travel. It's do they want to be part of that democratic process, or do they still live in fear of democracy?
Yeah. Brown.